Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, along with several others that are focused on different destinations. We are also a diamond level travel agency with Universal Parks and Resorts. That is actually the highest level that you can achieve as a travel partner of Universal's. And we were also recognized by them as the top travel agency in the country for 2019. So we have a wonderful relationship with Universal. We are trained on site by them to be experts in their vacation products, and we absolutely love to talk about their parks and their events. And so we always love getting the chance to be in this group to talk about Universal with all of you. So welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent panel video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we, again, are just so excited to be here to talk to you about Mardi Gras tonight, because Mardi Gras at Universal is upon us and there is so much to cover. So we are going to be sharing a lot of information with you, but we definitely would love to take any questions that you have. So if at any point during this broadcast you have a question, go ahead and drop that into the comments, and then towards the end we will come back and we will discuss all of those questions together. We're using a platform called StreamYard to go live this evening, and it might request that you allow it to display your username and profile picture. Just know that you can decline that permission and you can still post anonymously, and we'll be able to answer your questions that way. So I'm joined tonight by three of our marvelous agents. Ladies, thank you all so much for being here tonight. And if you would take just a second to tell everybody your name, how long you've been with the agency, and the best way for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a trip to Universal.
Hi, I'm Becca Beliveau. I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travels for 5 years now, and the best way is probably email becca@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haley Knipe. I've been with the agency for just over a year, and my email address is the best way to contact me. It's haley.knipe@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, I'm Erin Sudemeyer. I've been with the agency since 2017. I actually put my Facebook link up there because it's shortened to E-pseudo-MMT because, well, let's face it, Sudemeyer is just long. So best way to reach me is something short that I can put on the screen for you. It's good to be here tonight.
And again, I'm Ginger Pierce. I have been with the agency coming up on 4 years now. And the easiest way to get in touch with me, again, nice shortened, is to go to my blog, which you can find at gingermmt.com. So, ladies, one of the things that I love the most as Universal, or as, someone who travels to Universal, we are pass holders. We love Universal. We vacation there often, but I love all of their different special events. And it feels like, there's always something extra going on at Universal most times during the year. And for so many people, their favorite thing that Universal does is Mardi Gras. And there's, so many reasons why, and we'll get into a lot of those. But first of all, let's just kind of give a really big picture, broad idea of what is Universal's Mardi Gras celebration.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Mardi Gras for me is one of my favorite events. Now, some would say Halloween Horror Nights, but that's not really my thing. I'm more of a St. Patrick's Day girl than a Halloween girl. But when it comes to Mardi Gras, there's just something for the entire family. It doesn't matter who you're going with. It doesn't matter if you're going for one of the litany of reasons we'll talk about tonight. I just think overall, it is one of the most fantastic events. It has food, it has entertainment, it has fun. We'll talk about the tribute store. There's so much to talk about tonight. I love Mardi Gras.
Me too. They said this year they've promised that's going to be louder, wilder, and spicier. So that sounds nice.
Right. And, she already said food, but I'm just going to reemphasize the food. If you're going to an event at Universal, you need to know there's going to be awesome food. So I can't wait to get to the part where we talk about the food.
That's usually everybody's favorite part. We were having that conversation in another group last week about how the food videos that we do are always like the most watched videos that we have, and the most interaction is the food because everybody likes to eat, right?
Yes.
So, there's a lot of stuff going on at Universal. It is, again, just a short event. We'll talk about the dates in just a second. But it's really one of those things where if you are traveling in for, February break, or maybe if you have a really, really early spring break, this is something that you get to take advantage of. And probably the next big question that everybody has, other than just like, what is this, is it included with my park admission?
Yes. The good news is it is.
Yeah. So unlike Halloween Horror Nights, which is a separate ticketed event that you have to pay extra for, this is not. Yes, there might be elements of this. If you want to eat some of that amazing food, you're probably going to have to fork out some extra money and stuff like that. But the actual event itself is something that's part of your regular park admission. And so that's really great. It's a perk to traveling at this time of year for sure. So how long does it last? When do people have to get to Universal if they want to be part of the celebration?
It's actually quite a few amount of time. So it's February 5th through April 24th. So it covers pretty much spring break on either side.
Right.
So we got the early spring breakers and the late ones. So
that's very
so if
cool.
you don't make it there before Fat Tuesday, you still have a little time to get Mardi Gras on.
Yep,
definitely true. So let's move on to the food, since everybody's so excited to talk about food. Let's talk about what types of food they have, how you access this food. Like, is there separate things you have to reserve? Is it kiosks? Like, tell me everything about the food.
Right. So, there are food kiosks set up throughout the entire parks. And you can walk up to those food kiosks. You can order things individually, or you can buy a pass that allows you to go to all the different kiosks and try something from each one. When I was at Universal during Mardi Gras, I had the King Cake Punch, which was like a creamy cocktail with rum, and there was lots of color and sparkles to bring out the king cake colors, the purples and the greens and the yellows. And then I also trying to think what else I tried. I tried several different food items. Of course, they're going to have the food items with the Creole vibes or the French vibes.
Yeah.
And if you're traveling with anybody in your party who has a food allergy, as you know, I've done some Sundays with MMTs. I've done some of our podcasts. So I always feel like I have to represent the food allergy people when it comes to food. So don't worry. They actually have things set up online so you can look in advance to see what is in everything that's, safe for not only allergies, your most common allergies, but also they'll have notated vegan options or vegetarian options, which is awesome. There's no problem in talking with them and finding out if there's cross-contamination. They'll let you know right away if it was prepared in another kitchen or if it was prepared there on site. And they do have books that have information in addition to the fact that it's all listed. So I had no problems. I was able to eat something at almost every kiosk, and they have all these different international kiosks throughout the park. I was able to find several things. I had no issues whatsoever. Being able to we basically did a lunch just by going through and doing little items at the stations, and you can buy a pass so that you can have a certain number of tastes throughout the park. And then obviously a lot of those places have both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks that you can get, which also really spreads out the lines during the time of spring break, which is fantastic because nobody wants to wait a long time for food. They want experiences. They want to get on attractions, and the fun of it is one portion, but it spreads everybody out. So that makes all the areas easier to get to as far as your food options, which is awesome.
If you set up in the mobile app, if you set up your virtual wallet, you can do mobile orders as well. So it makes it pretty convenient.
Yeah, that's a great point. And of course, as we were looking through these pictures, I saw king cakes, referenced several times. I love a king cake. If you've never tried a king cake, you are missing out. Beignets too. I mean, both of those are excellent. And so if you've never tried those and you're going to be at Universal during the right time, definitely give those a try because they're amazing. So we've kind of covered food. We've talked about probably our favorite topic when it comes to Mardi Gras, but let's move on to some of the things that there are to do. What sort of special events take place at Mardi Gras?
Well, it wouldn't be Mardi Gras without a parade.
Very true. That's a
So
fun one.
yeah, there's a Mardi Gras parade. They will throw out beads. It's a family-friendly event, so you don't have to expose yourself in order to get beads, which is really great. And yeah, a lot of times they'll just ask you that if you want beads, you just dance in the street, and it doesn't have to be crazy or choreographed. You can just do a fun dance. Very kid-friendly.
They love giving out beads to kids.
Right, and they have all those people like you saw in the pictures up on stilts walking around. They're a lot of fun, and floats galore. Lots of cool colors, sparkles, things like that.
Yeah. Did you guys see that this year's theme is Planet Mardi Gras? So you'll see like some comets and rockets and other space themed on the floats, and they said like 6 brand new floats. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
And typically they'll also have, similar to the holiday time period, they'll have a hunt where you can hunt for different things in different areas, different stores.
Yeah.
And we got like this great prize pack last year that had all these beads. One of the beads had a Mardi Gras face on it. I swear it was the size of a pear. It was awesome. It was fun because every store had something that was like a little bit different, and it went with the theme for that year. So yes, each year has a different theme.
Yeah.
The other thing that changes every year and every season, because we said, there's a lot of things at Universal that are like the holidays with the holiday, Macy's parade. You've got Halloween Horror Nights. There's the tribute store. And I don't think I realized at first what the tribute store was. And then once I did, now I can't help but go every time. And what I heard about the tribute store this year, just to give you an idea, it's almost like a black box theater, but it's a black box theater that's also set up to be a place where you can buy food or you can buy merchandise. And each room, as you walk through, has a different theme, and it's changed out per season. This particular season is not only going to have food, it's not going to just have merchandise, but they're also going to go through the making of the Mardi Gras floats.
Cool.
So each room is going to have different drawings and sketches that kind of go through and talk about the making of their Mardi Gras floats and what goes into them. And they're spectacular floats. Yeah. So the tribute store is something you definitely don't want to miss. It's right across from where you would go into Jimmy Fallon, the very back part of the Rip Ride rocket coaster. It's right over in that area.
Yeah. It's cool. Very cool.
Yep. So we already kind of hit on this last question. Well, actually, no, let's talk about the concerts. We can't move on until we talk about the concerts.
The events yet.
Yeah, no. So who wants to talk about the concerts?
Okay, this is what I would like to do, because if you guys have looked at the concert series, I've looked at the concert series. There are more than one person or groups or bands that I'm excited to see. But by and far, if I can make it down on February 19th, I want to go see the Bare Naked Ladies. Call me a 90s, a 90s college girl, but B&L, I want to see them on February 19th. What about you guys? What are you most excited about? Because there's a great lineup, so there's a lot to pick from.
Well, call me a millennial, but I want to see Jason Derulo on March the 27th.
There you go.
Oh, it's a hard decision because I love Gavin DeGraw, which he's on March 20th. But Jimmy Allen is also the 26th, so maybe I just make it a long weekend trip.
There you go.
Catch both.
Yeah, I was going to say Gavin DeGraw as well. That would definitely be the artist I would want to see. I've been a huge fan of his for a lot of years. So, I mean, definitely if you were that 90s millennial generation, this is your year.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Even
we're thriving
there.
this year.
My son, if he found out Marshmallow was going to be there, he'd be like, Mom, you're taking me. I mean, so there's really, when we say there's something for every generation, it truly is something for everybody at Universal. A lot of people don't think it's that wide of a market or that big of a niche, but they do so much and they do it so well.
They do.
So
they absolutely do.
Yeah, we all can show our age by picking our favorite band.
It's just a number, right?
That's all it is. I'm still
Yeah.
riding Refried Rocket, so I'm good.
That's, if the concert is a big deal for you, definitely start scoping out an area a couple hours ahead of time because it will fill up fast.
It will,
Um,
for sure.
For sure. That's a really good tip. And you know what? That's one great reason to use one of the agents at Marvelous Mouse Travels. We go there. We know what it's like to be at these events. We can give you those tips and tricks. It doesn't cost you anything. You spend the same amount you would. And sometimes in addition to getting that tip or trick that makes a difference on your trip, you get the added benefit of getting in an hour early when you buy your tickets through us.
Yep.
So it really makes a difference.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And that early park admission is typically something that is only reserved for on-site or partner hotel guests or select annual pass holders. It's not something that if you just go online to Universal's website and buy your tickets that you can get access to. So it's a very limited, I guess, availability of that extra hour to get into the park and to do some things like Velocicoaster, and stuff like that, like good things that people want to do. You can get early access to that, and that's a huge deal.
The Harry Potter areas,
Oh,
getting your
yeah.
wand early.
Yes.
I mean,
For
all of
sure.
it.
For
Yeah.
sure. And we did get a question before we move on from events, because this is a timely question.
Okay.
It asks, what is the process to sign up to ride on a float?
They haven't announced whether they're going to be doing that again this year. And I researched that earlier. A few years ago, it used to be common that you were able to, and I would say when you get to the park early in the morning on the Universal side, I would go to guest relations and ask if they're doing it that day. They moved the moving float to actually having the floats throughout the park the last, two Mardi Gras. And it was set up so that they could throw everybody their beads and kind of spread everybody out so everybody wasn't in the parade line together. I don't think we've gotten to the point yet where they've decided whether or not you're going to be on the floats. But in the past, yes, they have had a select number of guests that were allowed to dress in Mardi Gras themed clothes and ride the floats and throw out beads. So I would say that that's going to be closer to a game day decision, that it hasn't been announced yet. And it should be something that you can follow up with your agent on closer to when you go, or something that you can ask guest relations the day of when you get there.
Yeah, and definitely in the past, it has been, I think priority's been given to people like annual pass holders and stuff like that. I know we were there for a training at one point and a lot of our agents got to ride on a float. So that was really exciting as well. And in fact, there they are.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
I will say that in the past, you were also able to sign up through the app. So again, make sure you download that. So if it is an option, you should be able to see that probably in the morning as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you'll definitely want to check it out early because it's something that goes fairly quickly.
Very fast.
There are annual pass discounts for Mardi Gras food, beverage, activities. So if you come to us to get your annual pass, we can also fill you in on what those benefits are as well.
And also, too, certain annual pass levels are blocked out on concert dates. So if concerts are important to you, that's definitely something that you want to be paying attention to, and making sure that you're selecting the right level of pass in order to be able to access the parks that you want to access. So that was a really good question. I'm glad that one came through.
For sure.
So the last thing, do we want to say anything else about events before we move on to our last question, or you guys kind of said what you want to say on that?
Yeah,
I think we did a pretty good job.
We covered it really well.
We did. I think we did.
The only thing I would say is the on-site resorts also do like a special item or drink item. So like check those out as well because they're really fun and they're specialty items with this theme. So that's the only thing I would add.
You know what else? The Emporium, Pat O'Brien's, they do specialty items for Mardi Gras as well. And I love Pat O's. It's a New Orleans-based restaurant. One thing that I can tell you is in the evening, they'll have inside dueling piano players. But out back is just this beautiful garden that looks like you're, in a tiny boutique hotel in the French Quarter. It's got water fountains. It's got little twinkly lights. It's very quiet back there. And so if you've had a long day in the park and you've been on roller coasters and lots of background noise and parties
Mhm.
and parades and all this other stuff, and you're overstimulated and you want a good dinner and you want it to be quiet, we have taken our kids there when we've left the parks, and outside out back, during dinner time is a great escape. Even if the park's open late and you want to go back in,
Yeah.
it's a great escape and it's quiet. It's
Mhm.
really a nice place. So,
Yeah.
and it's kid friendly.
Yeah.
During the, dinner hours.
Absolutely. And that's our last question about Mardi Gras. And we have kind of alluded to it already, but is this a family friendly or kid friendly event? And I think definitely yes, it is. Obviously Universal is not going to put, something in their parks during regular park hours that the
Yeah,
whole family can't
included.
enjoy.
Mhm.
And so even with things like Halloween Horror Nights, that event is better suited for kids ages 13 and up. And so Universal is very open about that and make
Yeah.
sure that you're aware of that. But with Mardi Gras, you have, it's more geared towards everyone. Everyone can
Yeah.
enjoy it. So you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that at all. So I'm looking at the questions here, and I don't see any additional questions that have come through other than the one we have already addressed. But I do just want to say that if you are watching this on replay, because I know many of you do every week, you're not able to join us live, but you come back and you watch these later on, or maybe you're watching it on YouTube right now at youtube.com/marvelousmousetravels. You can still post your questions. We do monitor these videos, and we're happy to come back at a later date and answer those questions for you. So if you stumble across this later, and you think of a question, go ahead and ask it, and we're happy to come back and address that for you. But thank you so much for watching us tonight for Sundays with
Yes.
MMT. If you joined us a little bit late and you missed our contact information, all of the agents' contact information can be found at the beginning of the video. And remember that it is completely free to you to book your vacation through one of our agents. You are not going to pay any more to book through us than you would to just go on Universal's website and book and service everything yourself. But when you book through us, not only are you supporting a small business, but you are also getting personalized tips and tricks. You're getting one person to reach out to if you have problems rather than having to filter through a call center. So you truly are getting an extra level of support for no extra money, and that's definitely worth it. We can help you with everything from a theme park vacation. We obviously book Universal, but we book the park down the road too. A lot of parks down the road as well. We also can help you with cruises, all-inclusive vacations, international travel, anywhere you want to go in the world. There's a Marvelous Mouse Travels agent that can help get you there. So again, we hope you enjoyed watching with us tonight, and we hope you'll join us again next Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.